You dropped it.
It's an early morning in late September as we leave the pontoon, just as the call to prayer sounds from the local mosque. It's the start of our 2-week yacht charter on the Turkish coast. Join us to see how we got on. Our base for the charter was Fethiye in southwest Turkey, a large town set in a natural harbour. It's a working town as well as a tourist town, and its main business is boats. Hundreds of them line the quays, day boats, private charter boats, tourist boats, and many of the boats are built locally. A lovely design. Fethiye has great markets for fish, vegetables and all foodie things, and there are numerous restaurants to choose from. We had some great meals. There's also a weekly market for clothes, bags, shoes, gifts, etc. Anything you'd want. There's lots of history here. These are Lyceum tombs, built into the rock just above the town. They're over 2,500 years old. This is the nearby ghost city of Kekova, deserted since 1923 as part of the Turkey-Greece population exchange. But we were here to go sailing. Our boat was at the large Fethiye Marina, one of the many marinas in the bay. We chartered a Jano Sun Odyssey 349, ideal for just the two of us. So we left Fethiye that morning, just after sunrise, heading south down the coast.
Nice sunny morning.
Well, it's nice start.
Gorgeous coastline.
Boat coming up behind us.
Unfortunately, no winds as yet. Hopefully, wind will get up a bit later.
We're just heading for a bay, going to go for a swim, let the wind get up, and then head off to another anchorage for the night. So this is day one, and the weather is really exceptional for this time of year. It's 30 degrees forecast again today. We stopped at Butterfly Bay, a beach at the end of a gorge, only accessible by boat. It was lovely and peaceful, until the first party boats came. And although they didn't really bother us as they went right into the corner, they did play a lot of music.
This is the warmest seawater I've ever swum in. Gorgeous.
The party boat didn't stay long, and the music volume went up again as they left. We motored back up north for a while, aiming for a bay for the night. And we passed one of those lovely Turkish sailing gullets. And also passed by one of the world's highest paragliding jumps, which land on the beach at Ulundadi. We moved into the Karakoram area and anchored for the night. A cooling swim, a meal on board, a very peaceful first night at anchor.
Gorgeous.
But heading into some thick cloud coming over the hills and some high winds forecast. This should be interesting. Well, the clouds disappeared There's still not enough wind to sail, so we're motoring south. Hope the wind will come soon. Just passing Butterfly Valley there again, where we were yesterday. Heading south, maybe to Cash or maybe to Kalkan, depending on the weather as we get further south. Always the nicest time. Switching off the engine, now sailing. So we got some wind now. We get about 18 knots at the moment of building. We're going more or less downwind with just the jib flying. We'll just have to watch. We're going to have to jibe in a minute to take us out. But it's very pleasant at this level. Let's see what it builds to. It's forecasting 30 knots, but we'll see what it builds to. So this is where we ended up last night. Kalkan. Peace and quiet now. But it was a bit hectic, to say the least, wasn't it? But the wind, even right into the night, till about midnight, was gusting up to 30 knots. It's swirling different directions. So it made it a little bit hectic.
Bit of a rough night.
Bit of a rough night until then. That morning we left early for the 2-hour trip down to Cash. A mixture of downwind sailing and motoring. Nearing the entrance to Cash. And we can make it out with the sun there. Cash Marina ahead. We're hoping to moor on the right hand side, where you can just about see some boats in the sun. And that's where we ended up, anchored just behind the catamaran. But there's a sizzling and a lovely smell coming from somewhere down here. This is breakfast. What is it?
It's Turkish breakfast, something eggs and menemen.
Menemen.
That's it.
And what's in it?
Onions, peppers, Turkish chili paste, eggs of course.
Lovely. Okay, we're going ashore.
Yeah.
You roll. That was a steep climb up there. Hot already. Well, it's still early, it's only just after 11, but it's so hot. This is our first beer.
Cheers.
Cheers. We thought Cash was a lovely place. A great setting, beach restaurants, an old harbour, some beach areas, and lovely streets to wander and choose your next restaurant. A lovely little meze.
Very nice.
2 nice FS beers, which are my new favourite beer. And a nice little meze for 2 as a starter. And followed up by this wonderful mixed grill. We wanted to try the kebabs and the lamb chops, so we tried them all together. What do you think?
Delicious, doesn't it? I've got a prawn casserole.
Prawn casserole with...
It was like, well, some vegetables. It was like a mustard potato salad.
Looks very nice.
What have you got there?
Well, I've got here grilled octopus with a chili dip, some potato salad and a fly on my tomato. Got rid of him. Very nice. We've just had a lovely meze, which we've had here before. It's the best meze we've ever had, so we came back for it again. So, bon appetit. So we're leaving Kashmirina after a pleasant stay. Lovely morning. Wind turn now, it's coming from the south today. So we're heading south, but just enough, I think, hopefully wants to get outside to be able to sail. I think we'll call back in Cash when we're coming back north next week. Lovely place, nice place. And this time of year, plenty of places to anchor as well. Well, we've just been visited by the Coast Guard. Wanted to know who we were, where we were going, whether we were Turkish. Commented on wanted to know what the flags were, the Welsh flag and the Yorkshire flag. Spoke good English, very polite. And off they go. Well, this is lovely. About 8-9 knots of wind. We're moving along about 3.5 knots. Bit of swell left over from the day before, but it's behind us. The rugged coastline of the Turkish Riviera. In this area, very few beaches. The rocks coming sharp down into the water. And that's why even in some of the bays, it's long lining. This is Kekova Island, and just to the south of Kekova Island there are 2 inlets to get inside what they call Kekova Roads, which is an inland protected sea. There are lots of nice bays and inlets, so we're going to be in here for a few days. Nice little bay we were going into for a swim. Wonder where you can make out just tourist boats in there and another one on its way in. So we moved down the channel west of Kekova and found a shallow spot to anchor and have a cooling swim before carrying on for our spot for the night. We found a gorgeous location and had a lovely evening. Next morning, in the dinghy and across for breakfast. So this is our breakfast this morning. Fried potatoes, tomatoes, lettuce, cheese, which is a bit like a feta cheese, a selection of olives, eggs, local honey, bread. So now we're just going to go for a walk before it gets too hot. This is the Lycian Way, which runs along the coast here.
A lot of walkers.
Yeah, there was quite a few walkers there.
Campers.
Camping. It's a bit, reminds you a bit of the, what's the one in Spain? Well, you know the one I mean. The Camino de Santiago. That's the one. We get there somehow. The area has many more Lycian ruins, some now submerged in the sea. This was quite a large settlement 2,000 years ago. We were soon moving east towards Kalakoi, and we could see where we were going from afar because of Semena Castle, which is on the hill above the little town. We moored up at a restaurant jetty where we'd stay for the night and also fill up with water. A walk into the town for another cooling beer. I was looking out towards Kekova Island before we had dinner alongside the boat. Next morning, a climb up to the castle. This is the view when we're up here.
And it's like 8 o'clock in the morning and it's really hot.
And all those tourist boats come in at midday and they all try and climb up here. So they're in for a bit of a shock. Well, we're going to try and find the Sunken city. Hopefully over here somewhere. Well, so far everybody's coming to see the Sunken city here, but we can't see anything. Not sure what we're missing. See bits of buildings there, which I'm assuming are the remnants of stuff. So I guess those stairs went down to somewhere. That's not here anymore. My navigator here just guided me around some very shallow rocks. Or is it the remains of a building? We then headed across the bay looking for somewhere to cool down. For a little swim. Nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. That's not very nice again. Then back to the boat for the night. Another day with no wind, so we slowly motored east, enjoying the surroundings. We found a nice spot to anchor in Limani. Another lovely setting. There's an inlet just off the bay that leads down to a bar, the Smuggler's Inn. So into the dinghy to visit the inn and have a beer. It was quiet and very laid back. After serving us, the co-owner decided to go to sleep on a seat and leave us alone. I guess she had a late night. So back in the dinghy and another cooling swim. How's that?
There's little pockets of cold water to swim in. And you've got a nice little bit of water.
Cooling then?
Yes. We need it.
Breakfast today is...
Was it?
Do you know how to cook them properly?
Very nice.
So it's time to get the anchor up and move away.
The anchor locker on this boat's a strange design. The chain doesn't drop from the windlass into the locker. You have to lay the chain out or it jams up, as we found out. So after a lovely few days in Kekova, we started to head back past Kalakoi, out of the Kekova roads and head 45 nautical miles back north. It involved a lot of motoring and a bit of light wind sailing. We went back into Karakoram, but this time took a mooring ball. Another great location with very clear water. The moorings are owned by the restaurant, so if you use one, you're obliged to eat in the restaurant. But they do provide a shuttle service to take you across and back. The place does have plenty of character, and some of the food was good, especially the lamb casserole and the bread straight out of the wood oven. Next morning we took a ride around Gemile Adassi with the thought of stopping off somewhere for a swim. There are lots of places to longline ashore, but the arrival of the party boats convinced us to move on. There are some lovely locations around here though. So we headed west, aiming for the gap at the south of Domusadasi. We found a lovely spot to anchor in Sasala Cove. Because the water's deep, we had to longline ashore, so after dropping the anchor, Nancy took 2 long lines ashore and tied them to the rocks and to a bollard. It was a lovely location to spend some quiet time. And another great spot to swim. When we came to leave, a swim ashore to undo the lines before lifting the anchor. Looking back as we left, we felt that this is definitely a place that we'd return to, as were so many of the places that we'd stopped at. On the way back to Fethiye, we passed the Migros supermarket boat, which gives a whole new meaning to home delivery. It was a gentle journey back in light winds. A few hours later, we were back at Fethiye Marina. We disembarked, had a lovely meal, and were soon in our hotel room, feeling relaxed after a great 2 weeks. So until the next time, enjoy your sailing.